of
Reaper
uh,
Souls.
yeah, Reaper Souls, which I have, and we're going to start that this weekend. And maybe we'll get through it all in one go. We finished Act Four in one play, so that was like a 2 hour session. We did it. We finished. We actually finished the last boss. We finished the boss of tier of Act Three, which was Asmodan. We did Asmodan and then did all of Act Four in one quick sweep, and so that was really cool. Um, and Yeah, so maybe we'll do the same with Act Five, um, but
Well,
maybe
at
not.
least make sure you're 70 before you beat the final boss.
Okay, why is that? We
You get
shouldn't
a
have a problem
guaranteed
doing
legendary.
that. Okay, we shouldn't have a problem with that, but cool, good to know. We've been getting at least 5 levels every time we play, so. But I know it gets harder to get the levels as we get further. Um, so yeah, now this is actually going. We should actually see Spacewood is almost ready. Did I send that water to the right place? I did not. I actually am sending water to Lil's. So there's actually we can cancel it. There's a number of ways to move this stuff around. And there's actually I can do this too. Same thing. So boom, that's one way to grab everything and put it in the right spot. So as soon as that actually happens, this should. Okay, now that we have the resources, then it's like okay, we got to get to population, get 2 more population, and then it'll be considered a level 1. So population's growing on here. Yeah. So again, we can just speed up time and watch that population shoot up. Apparently, yeah, we got it. I didn't actually even have to hit 3 entirely, apparently. Now it's activated, and Spacewood is now leveling up. It's going. Now it's going to have a population of 8, so that increases how much money we're getting. This one now earns money. The level zeros are net losses, so you got to watch that. That's what screwed me last time is grabbing all these planets and getting everything.
Sins.
Hmm?
Play it
Yeah,
like it's sins, yeah.
yeah. If you just grab every planet that you can, here it's like, oh, I can colonize all these planets that are within reach. Well, grab the ones you need and get the other ones later. When you can use them, because if you can't level them, or if they're if the it, some of the food and water plants, it's okay to use them at a loss at the start if it's gonna cover itself. Like right now, I've got one water is a loss, one food at a loss, two food at a loss. So right now, that's gonna put me at a net of 240 loss. But right now, Spacewood is earning 400 and climbing. It looks like 430, 440. So as the population goes up, that's going to keep climbing. So right there, that pays for it on its own because these are all funneling into that planet ultimately. Because those are either going directly to Spacewood or they're going into Lil's 2, which is then going into Spacewood. And Lil's 2 itself is earning money. It's already at 250. In fact, well, it's stable at 250. It's not going up anymore. So that's how much it's earning. It's hard to say exactly what you're going to earn out of a planet. Like, it's weird when you hover over this. It doesn't really give you your proper income. It tells you imported and active pressures. Pressures is really hard to explain. We'll get there. Um, so yeah, you're not seeing the budget overview there, and a little bit money will show up here in this top left corner, and we can hover over it, and it gives us a global budget. Tells us how much our income is, what we're spending on all of our planets combined, and what planet maintenance is, what planet income is, what the ship maintenance is, all that stuff. We get a nice little breakdown, but it's just not per planet, and I would like to see per planet.
Yeah.
So
Um,
many numbers.
yeah, yeah. Games like these are all about your numbers, but you don't need to know all of that. I like to. It's nice that they're there, and when I need it, I can use it, and then when I want to ignore it, I can. So, anyways, let's read this. Success! Congratulations, you provided Spacewood with the resources needed for it to become a level 2 world. When you select a planet, you can see its current level and the required imports to level it up on the information panel on the bottom. So again, we're going to highlight space wood. Oh, one thing to note also, the icons over here, you can see that we got the blue circle here. It means that you own it and it's level 0. If you got the 2 circles, that's level 1. You notice that this is a hex. That hex is level 2. I think a double hex is level 3. And I have no idea what 4's icon is going to look like. And then 5 would be the max. And again, no idea what that icon is. Many resources have particular special effects separate to their contribution to planet levels. Be sure to read their short descriptions at the bottom left information panel, or hover over it to show a more detailed description. Decide carefully which planets and resources to invest in leveling up to gain their benefits. So, you can hover over these little things basically anywhere. So, meat is pretty clear cut. Leveling up planets requires food. Water, leveling up planets to level 1 requires water. So, every level you go up, you're going to need food. Now, native gold is where it gets different. It has 3 pressure, and we'll look in closely and see what we can see on that. It gives 1 influence generation. That's cool. And the most important thing is money generates budget income for the Empire. Okay, I need to actually not just mute that sound, but pause it so that it doesn't randomly come in with the first couple seconds of a song. Auto DJ is really fun, guys. So yeah, okay, the pressure, what that means is basically it puts pressure on your planet to build these buildings that are for it. So whenever you have anything with pressure, it's basically pressuring your citizens to, support that industry. So we're bringing in the money. So whenever we bring in gold, that generates a market. You can't build these markets on your own. It's not an option in the buildings panel. Markets will just come with pressure. From this or from jewelry, I've noticed jewelry will give you a market. So there's a few things that'll build markets. You're also going to get other things like defense bases, energy production facilities like solar panels sort of things. There's a number of different pressure buildings that they'll fill up this grid, and they're just going to put them in there randomly. Now you can build over them and they'll rebuild themselves somewhere else, and sometimes you're going to need to do that. Like if I decide here's the biggest thing that I learned as far as the strategy is placing these buildings like the mega farm. That's going to be one of your more important things. You'll notice it's cheaper for me to build it here than out here. Actually, well, that's not bad. It's okay to build it, but the maintenance is still bad. These squares represent developed area. I thought you could only build in these squares. You can build anywhere on the map, as long as it's not lava. You got lava, you can't build on it. But basically, anywhere on the map. Some things will block it, but anyways. So we got crystallic development, or no, just crystallic whatever, mountains area. And we got forest. That's pretty much all this planet is forest and crystal. Some things would do good on crystal, but right now a mega farm is reduced cost it's a reduced build cost on a forest biome, but its maintenance is still 190. If you put it on a developed area, then if I could do all forest developed, then it would be great. But even so, it's actually still fine right here. Yeah, 120 is the same build cost, but it has a maintenance cost of 100. So that's what you kind of want to do. Yeah, any of those are all fine. This might be my best bet. And so if I just go on and do that, it'll rebuild all my other infrastructure. So now it's going to rebuild this market over here. Some other markets are probably going to show up after a time. It's going to rebuild my cities. And I can even, before it gets too far, you can go ahead and tell it to build a metropolis there, and then that'll take care of everything, actually, because that'll hold 6 in a 4-block range, and then we have these 2 cities there, and then it just needs to build the 2 markets. So it's already got another one queued up, and then another market will show up after this one gets done, and that'll fill all that up. Now that cost me some money, but that's okay. And then I don't have to continue to import the food from here. And then if I start sending this one water, it'll be fine. It can actually upgrade itself and start making me money. So that's one thing that the tutorial doesn't really show you, and I've kind of figured out. Hey, Space Dweller. Good morning, man. So yeah, that was a lot of information just from that I went on a tangent because of that paragraph about special effects. Yeah. Building, purchasing, and maintaining things costs money. I kind of got into that a little bit. Money, like most resources, is produced by your civilian population and infrastructure. The higher a planet's population, the more money it makes. So now we actually have this money tab here. This is an interesting facet of this game. Your income is budgeted along 3-minute budget cycles. Every cycle, your budget is recalculated, and you'll gain use of any money you netted to spend over the next 3 minutes. Any money not spent at the end of a budget cycle will instead be spent on one of the welfare options you choose in the resource bar. It is not possible to save money from one budget cycle to the next, but borrowing money as an advance from an upcoming cycle is possible at a hefty markup. So that's really weird to me. You can't accrue money over time, basically. Your budget is what your budget is, and what it does is it's automatically going to put it in. Now there's the welfare thing, which I'm actually not sure. Oh, that's influence. Okay, so that's going to put your money towards influence. Then you could subsidize power, you could do research grants. I think that's probably the best to start off with. Public works, that's good too, helps with labor, but that's probably better later when you're starting to build up your army. Combat readiness is for your defense, so I'm going to go ahead and say research is what I want to put it in. We should probably build a scout. So you just click that once and it starts building your scout. Depending on how much labor it takes and how much labor you have per minute, that's how long it'll take. Very much like Civilization there. Note how the scout design indicated it would cost 39k and the /36k. The first number indicates the build cost, which you will spend immediately from your available budget. The second number is its maintenance cost. The 36k will be subtracted as a maintenance cost from each subsequent budget cycle. While we wait for our scout to finish, which is already done, let's order some additional support ships for our battleships fleet. Open the fleet. Add a support group. And add 10 additional beam ships. So there we go, there's 10. Send your newly constructed scout to Zast. Zaist. So it can go by itself or we can hyperdrive it. Honestly, you know, it's not... Because it takes a little bit to charge up the hyperdrive. Oh, you can actually... He'll do that while he's moving, so you can actually tell him to move. I didn't realize that you could actually give him a move order and then give him the hyperdrive move order. That's pretty cool. But then you also have an auto explore, which the tutorial doesn't mention, but it's here. You can auto explore or auto explore with FTL, so you have a choice.